singing, but she is. Good morning, Instagram, too. I'm just here a little early to make sure I'm around when people start popping up. So I've got my coffee cup. I've got my two devices. Good morning, Brian. I've got my R mug for Rachel. I've got my light all set up. Very exciting. Oh, hey, Kate. Good morning. Welcome. So we're going to talk about failure today. That's the theme. I shared a video on YouTube and on all of my social media yesterday about failure, and I think it speaks to a lot of people. So that's what we're going to focus on our meditation today. So let's just settle in, feeling our bodies connecting to the floor. Breathing in. Taking a sip of coffee or tea or water, whatever you have. And just noticing your breath and maybe what the thought or the feelings of failure bring up for you while we wait for other people to join. Got an itchy nose this morning. So as we consider failure, what that really means, right? If you, like Kate and I, have worked in community mental health and you have to document things, maybe you're in nursing, you have to define things objectively. Not subjectively, but objectively, right? There has to be an actual definition. And failure is really subjective. So that's both good news and bad news. Because that means you can decide what failure means, and you get to decide what failure means because you're in charge. So it's both really challenging and really wonderful that you're in charge, but it also makes it really challenging. So let's consider something that you have, big air quotes here, failed at recently. Just pull it up in your mind and just connect with that experience for a moment. Maybe float your eyes closed. Notice where that stirs up in your body. Some people feel it in their throats, maybe their chest, stomach, wherever, I don't know. You get to decide, and it's your body, so it's your experience. But consider where you feel failure in your body and in your mind. And maybe get curious with it, right? Like, what is it? And why did you decide it was a failure? What was that experience like? And maybe you can choose to reframe that failure, because most likely it was just a step in a process, because we never get things right the first time. Like, almost never. I'm going to go with super rare. Does anyone have a story they want to share? There's people popping in and out. And you could always send me a message, share a failure that you had. But the good news is you get to decide. Super subjective. So as you consider this failure, and you notice where it feels in your body, and you get to define it, then let's just embrace it as part of your journey, as part of the process towards getting it done. Did you lose contact with your breath? Did you lose contact with your points on the floor where your body is connecting? Did you lose track of your coffee cup? Anyone have a cool coffee cup they want to show? Hey, Teresa, good morning. We're talking about failure. And that you get to decide what your failure is. Just you, no one else. Other people will be happy to tell you that you're a failure or the thing that you didn't work out, but that's really their stuff. It is not your stuff. It's their stuff. So be present and attempt to embrace that thing you view as a failure. What would that feel like? Does that give you a headache? Gives me a headache. Hey, Samantha. Good morning. Right? So if you get to decide what a failure is, What if we just chose to embrace it? I'm working on some big projects for my business, and man, am I afraid of failing. And then I get to get comforted to remember that that's not how it works. I get to decide what's a failure, and also it's going to lead me to the success down the road. So I have to get this one done, figured out, right? Do the best I can for right now, and then learn from that process. And I have some people popping up on Facebook, so if you want to comment or just let us know you're here, that would be amazing. So as you get to decide, right, and as I'm sharing that you get to decide what your failure is, and that failure is absolutely part of the process. In my video yesterday, I've been watching a lot of comics and reading comics with my daughter, and Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, he is so confident in his skills, but he fails a ton. In fact, a lot of the Avengers really fail a lot, just for the record. But they are so confident in their skills that they know, especially Tony, that he has to fail a lot of times in order to succeed. But he never doubts. And that was really like a mind-blowing light bulb moment for me. I love when I call out that people are watching on Facebook, the numbers disappear. So that's fine. I'm not ready. That's okay. So as the coffee hits me, let's just breathe together as we notice our control over what we view as failing and failure. Let's breathe it out together. Purse your lips or side out roll big and loud. How'd that feel? I love doing the breathing with you guys. It makes me super calm, gets me ready for the day. So considering these failures, how do you move forward with embracing it instead of resisting it? We talked a bit about this last week, that when we notice emotions, a lot of times we resist them, or we're like, no, I don't have time for worry. I don't have time for viewing myself as a failure. I don't have time for discomfort, right? We try and keep space from our emotions, and that leads to lots more anxiety and more emotions because you're trying to pretend you're not feeling the way you're feeling. And that's really hard. It's like an extra weight you have to carry, extra energy you have to emit. I'm totally guilty of this too. So consider just embracing it, like a big warm hug, like a really nice cup of coffee that I just got on my face, right? And just be with that discomfort, because discomfort won't kill you. I think I'm gonna get that tattooed like here. What do you guys think, right? Discomfort will not kill you. I say it really often. That's why I just want to have it for people to see. I'll do it like in a mirror backwards. But discomfort won't kill you. And I say this to myself all day long, right? This discomfort will not kill you. This failure will not be the end. It can be the beginning, but you get to decide. Thank you, Teresa. Right? So how can you turn your mind on to be aware and pay attention when you notice? For me, my shoulders tense up when I'm stressed and when I'm uncomfortable or experiencing intense emotions. So for me, right behind, at the base of my neck, where my shoulders kind of meet my spine, that's where I feel all of it. And so when I notice that, I have to go, okay, I am feeling some feelings. Let's embrace them. How do I do that? I can close my eyes, I shut my office door, I hide in the bathroom in my house, depending on the scenario. I could be, if I'm in my car, I've got it, right? But you can just be with those feelings and know that they will not destroy you. Discomfort can't kill you. It won't. Stress, that can overwhelm you. That's a whole other meditation. So let's just breathe on this idea of failing. Feels so good. And now my kid is singing and yelling happily from her bed upstairs. So does anyone have any failure thoughts they want to share? How you're noticing your feelings, where you feel your feelings? Just noticing your discomfort, noticing your emotions, and then remembering that you get to decide. You get to decide. You get to decide, and you get to decide what a failure is. So what are you going to fail this week? It's Wednesday, right? To get you moving forward towards success. I had a pretty painful process of getting some Facebook ads up. It felt like a failure, for sure, because it's something I've never really done. I'm working with a company I don't know. They don't know me. And so it's been a little painful and stressful. But I had to remember that this is the painful part. And when I do it again next time later in the year, it will be smooth sailing because all of the clunky problems will have been worked out. And they're probably new problems, but they won't be these problems, right? So I could choose to think of it as a failure, that they went up later than I planned and it was very painful with late nights working with the West Coast. Or I can say I got it done and they're up and running, and this will just be something to laugh at later. It's actually, I can laugh at it now because it's kind of been comical, like the mistakes on my part. So how do you do that in your own life? We have a few more minutes here before I sign off. I quickly showered, so right before the meditation, so my hair needs a little bit of work. So that's what I'm going to be racing to do once we sign off, right? And getting ready to leave. So as you're envisioning this failure, which will now be a potential step towards success, what can you do different? How can you shift your mind to notice that you're resisting, right? Resisting that feeling. Maybe you are feeling really bad. You're noticing it in your body. You're noticing it as your stress comes down, your breathing, maybe your mood, whatever's going on for you. I want to encourage you to notice it. Give it a big warm hug. Envision it like a yummy cup of coffee. And just be with it. And remember that Tony Stark, Iron Man, failed a lot. Actually, there are actual real life people who fail a lot too on their way to success. I'm trying to think of some examples offhand. I didn't write them down, so I apologize. But I bet Jeff Bezos failed a bunch of times. I bet he has some companies that didn't work out first, right? Who else? I don't know. He came to mind today, right? But people fail on their way to success. All the people that you're stalking on Instagram have not had followers for some time, or the website crashed, or, I don't know, they fell flat on their faces doing an athletic event. And they got up and they kept going. So remember that discomfort will not kill you, and you get to decide what your failure is or is not. All right, so as I get ready to sign off, if there are any subjects you would like me to offer a meditation on, guided or unguided, please feel free to leave me a comment below in the meditation. Also, I have my Facebook group, Uncaged with Rachel. And later today, I am doing a live at noon with Carrie. We're going to talk about intuitive eating, and we're going to talk about how women do funny things with food. That's one of her hashtags, which I just love. So let's take a breath together before I sign off. Remember to check back here at noon and join my Facebook group, Uncaged with Rachel. I have my course, which will be launching May 1st. So I have a whole bunch of free webinars coming up too about shame and doubt and stop overthinking. So check those out. Another breath in. Let's rub our hands together. I'm going to take my glasses off. Woo! Don't know what you guys are seeing. Rub our hands together. Rub, 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 rub. Place those warm hands on our eye sockets here. Big breath out. Feel the heat and energy that you've just created. put these on and see what's going on my screen. Thank you so much, as always, for joining. Don't forget to check back at noon today and join my Facebook group, Uncaged with Rachel. I have so much more to share with you guys. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Woo, my kid is yelling. I gotta go. Bye.